There was a revealing, and you would have to say startling, statistic released by the space agency today on the dangers of flying the shuttle. According to NASA, the Space Shuttle Challenger had nearly 750 parts deemed criticality 1, where failure of the single part could mean disaster. As ABC's Lynn Scher reports, even as they continue to investigate the disaster, some of the other shuttle work has been put on hold.
The Space Shuttle Atlantis was originally scheduled for reprocessing today after a mission that would have ended last weekend. But with the stand down since the Challenger explosion, Atlantis was moved to a parking spot in a NASA building in Florida. Meanwhile, salvage teams hoisted a still unidentified chunk of metal up from the ocean floor. Nearby, other ships continue to try to recover debris that might be the strut connecting the right solid rocket booster to the giant fuel tank. And while they try to find clues among the hardware, officials at the Johnson Space Center in Houston released the space shuttle's critical items list, the first full compilation of parts that are considered vital to safe flight. The official tally, presented in response to questions from reporters, is that 748 items on the shuttle are rated criticality 1. In other words, they have no backups, and failure of any one of the items could cause loss of vehicle, mission, or crew. One manager compared criticality 1 to the possibility of a tire blowing out while driving your car at 70 miles an hour.
There's a failure mode called rupture, and if that occurs, there's probably nothing that can be done to prevent a bad day.
The rubber O-ring seals on Challenger's right solid rocket booster that are suspected of failing and causing the accident are rated criticality 1. And just like the O-rings, which testimony has revealed were not fully tested at flight conditions, NASA today admitted they have no tests to indicate the probability of failure of the other items on the critical list.
No, we don't assign probabilities on each of the failure modes identified in this list.
But he also pointed out the list is pessimistic, postulating worst-case scenarios, adding there would probably be no shuttle without some risky items.
My experience would be that there will always be some criticality 1s. The question, though, is are they acceptable to fly?
That is what NASA must now determine as they begin the process of re-reviewing the criticality 1 list. The object? To find out which items are still acceptable and which must be redesigned to allow safe flight in the future. Lynn Scher, ABC News, Washington.